Hello, welcome to the video. As you can see by the title and thumbnail, we're putting a sub in my LS400, a 1990. I got this Phoenix Gold sub and amp kit. Came with all the wiring, obviously the sub and the amp, and they're built for each other, which is awesome, so I don't have to choose and probably mess something up. Here's a bit of a look at them, and I'm going to be connecting those up to this new head unit I got. It's a Pioneer DEHP070, I'm pretty sure. It's freaking epic. I'll show you some a bit later, or maybe now. It has like moving animations on it, and it's like our old school radio. It's sick. Instead of just getting the stock head unit wires and chopping the ends off that and just straight up wiring it to my new head unit, I found this, it was called like an ISO connector for Toyotas at Super Cheap, and I noticed the one side of the plugs were exactly what I needed to match up with the stock plugs that were in the stock head unit. So I bought that, not really sure if it was gonna work, hooked it all up, and it worked because I'm a genius. But to start off, we got some plywood from my local Mitre 10 or Thornton's. So we measured out the trunk to the dimensions we wanted and just started cutting. At first I was using a handsaw because I was, and then I realized this is going to take an eternity, so I actually whipped out the big boy, the big I don't know what it's called, but like a electric spinny saw. Anyways, it did the trick, it worked well, and then we cut out the little corners, boom bam, there are the corners cut out. And just while we're waiting, I just want to say that all the music that you hear in this video in the background, I've made myself. I've got another channel where I post beats. If you want to go look at it, feel free, that'd mean a lot. And here's it in the trunk as a test fit. And then we noticed, we noticed the little corners would be poking out a little bit. We measured those corners. Oh, not really, we didn't measure them. We just traced them with the carpet and then chopped them off. And then we just sanded all the edges, not to make them absolutely perfect, but just, you know, to make it so it's not rough, so it's nice. After the plywood was flush in the trunk, we started stripping the trunk, just pulling off all the carpet pieces. There's a few screws at the top, and just a few clips all around the place. Very simple to take off. For the clips, because there's a lot of them you're going to need to take off while doing this whole process, definitely get a set of like trim removers that aren't just screwdrivers that are going to scratch everything you love. These are the ones I got. And here is me starting to actually strip the rest of the car, trying to figure out how to get the seats out. Come here. You just rip it up. Oh, and the whole thing just comes out. Oh wow. Needs a bit of a vacuum. Oh, doll!
Oh, no way.
Let's go.
It's hairy.
That's disgusting.
If we gained anything today, it was $1.
Heck yeah. Alright. So, we think we know what bolts to take out. We know you have to get this one, which is just right under the seatbelt, or, you know, sort of. You have to get that one out, right there. And then this comes loose, do it on the other side. And then down here, in the middle, just above that bolt there, we think you need to remove. It's easy to tell when you're actually looking at it. So this is the seatbelt buckle. Follow it down, and then there's that one there which holds in the buckle, which I think you do have to take out as well to get to the one just above and behind the seatbelt buckle. As you can see, something's covering the little, like the actual head of it. I think we're going to take these out and then get to that bolt behind it. then hopefully we'll be able to take the seats out. So those bolts that are attached to the seatbelt bracket, you do indeed just take them out. You got to use a big boy because they're pretty on there, or at least mine were. And then you can kind of just... Alright, good camera died. It kind of messed up what I was doing, but that bolt that I showed you to unscrew comes out, whole seatbelt thing just comes out. Just keep that all together to be safe. And then that gives us access to that bolt there, and the same on the other side. That one there, just under here, that. Pretty easy once you're looking at it. Oh, it's a bit of a shit spot. You definitely need a extension. You might even need a longer one. There we go. They're not that bad. You just gotta get the start of it. So those bolts are out. Look at these. Those are out. You can see how the whole thing moves freely at the bottom. Not exactly sure how the top comes off, but we'll figure it out. Also, I highly recommend you get a piece of cardboard and you just put all your screws in it to keep track of them. Instead of, like, these are handy, these little magnetic balls, but they're not labeled. You don't know where they go unless you have good memory. So I think this is a good idea. And if the holes are the right size, which I just put with the screwdriver, they're staying there pretty well. But yeah, definitely do this if you can. Okay, back seat is out. So basically, once you get all 4 of those bolts out, 1, 2, 3, 4, the whole bottom will be loose. You can like pull it, and then you have to grab from the bottom. You probably might be able to do it with one person, but it wouldn't be easy. And then this is what it like sits on. So you have to pull it up, and then it'll kind of dislodge a bit. And then once it's dislodged a bit, keep pulling up and pull out at the same time, and it should come off with a bit of convincing. And then the whole thing is detached, and then you can get down here. Because putting a sub in, and this doesn't even work with my new head unit because I don't know. That's the only reason, because I don't know. So we're just gonna take this out and then have the wires just come up through there, and then obviously down here or something like that. So you need to get this little cover off. The grey bits come with it. Gonna need you one of these little pry tools. They're not. So here is where your surround cover, whatever, would be. And these 2 holes here and here are where clips were. So you just want to get your little tool in. So the cover was here. You just want to get it in there and then pry it up. It helps if you have someone in the boot pushing up. Makes it a lot easier. So you just do that, just in the very corner. And then same on this side, because there's a brake light on that. There's these little bulbs connected to it, so you can't just rip it off. And they just twist out and come out. And then you can unscrew the sub and take it out, which is what we're about to do. So we have run all the cords up through the hole, and what we did was, this is kind of held on there a little bit with some glue or some shit, but you kind of just have to pull it up and then run it kind of on that angle, and then come through there, and then we just got them hanging so far. Disclaimer, in that last clip I had all the wires running through, I don't know where this is pointing, I can't actually see. I had all the wires coming through together through like the sub hole. Don't do that. Okay, so all the remote, the power, the one for your little volume control, they can be together, but don't put your RCA and your power together because it creates noise. And I knew that. I did hear people say that, but I was like, oh, how bad can it be? It's not very fun, so I'm gonna have to fucking redo all of that and move the RCA cables over probably to the other side or something like that, which won't be fun. So to save yourself that hassle, don't do what I did, which I'll demonstrate that noise now. So I turn it on to accessories, and look. You hear that? I don't know if you can hear it. I don't know if you can really hear it on camera, but it's definitely there. You definitely notice it in person. Some songs it's real bad, some songs it's not. When the bass in the song is going, it's not really bad, but it's not worth it. We're trying to get this door panel off, so we can run the wires down under here. But first we have to get this little bit off, which includes taking that clip off. Oh my god, that's gonna be a bitch. Taking that one off, just pulling, I think. So we've got this trim off, and it's just a bunch of clips, really. These two side ones. Oh, I need the flash. Okay, there we go. So this one, which was, so this sat here roughly. That hole, that clip, you kind of just have to get behind it and just pull. You might break it. I broke this one, which is down here. Try not to, obviously, but basically I just pulled them as hard as I could. Once they're out, all right. So this might come off with it, or it might have to, I don't know. And these clips also might come off with it. Some of them you actually kind of just have to yank off with it, because they, as you can see, they're like sharp here, and they dig into the plastic, which is really convenient because it means you can't separate them. But you can just push them back on the chassis and all as well. So then you have that little bottom bit with the, you know, the metal bit here. I just, you know, get under here, just leverage it out. You got one there, 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 some here, and then one's for the carpet. Really, if you just stick it under there and yank just along the whole thing, that will pop out. And same thing for the front, exactly the same. So there is this bit here, which the very end of it just clips into this. So just pull it from there as best you can. All right, my phone died, so now we're using my girlfriend's phone. Hi. Hi. So we've ran these wires behind, gotta make sure it's behind the seatbelt, and I've got it behind this insulation or whatever it is, and then kind of, sort of, not really. It's against this wiring harness, and then we brought it down, or it's gonna sit down here. The blue wire needs to be pulled through a bit more, but basically it's gonna just come through here, run along here, and then we've popped off the bottom of this like pillar bit. It's just got a couple clips holding it in. I broke the other two on the other side, but that's all right, it should be fine. Just ran those through there to the other side. Come around here, same thing again. We haven't done the power yet, but same thing here. Come up here, up the top here, under the glove box. Got it behind this carpet, and then going just basically behind the back of the piece. Oh, we've taken this cover off, which is just a few clips, and there's a globe that you have to just unscrew and pull out. And then we have the wires. This one fell out. They're coming up through here, up there, and then it comes up behind this carpet here, and then you just feed it through, and it'll come. You'll see it if you just keep feeding it through. Now you've got the RCA, maybe they might be called that, I don't know, which plug in to those. And then we have the blue wire, which I'm gonna wire tap into this accessories cable because it's the remote cable. Disclaimer: you don't wiretap into the accessories cord. Your aftermarket head unit should have a cable, a blue cable or wire that is labeled as remote. You connect your remote cable coming from your amp straight into that cable. You don't wiretap it into the accessories or ignition. I don't know why I thought that's how it was done. you don't do that. You just put it straight into the other remote cable coming from your head unit, and all is well. So this blue wire that is not in here at the moment, but it will be, that's the remote wire, which basically means when you turn it on to like accessories where everything's on but the engine, and like the radio turns on, that remote cord, sorry, tells the amp to turn on, which also turns on the sub or something like that. I don't know, bro. So that's the remote and the RCA, or the red and white cables. That's those done. And with my kit, oh shit, it came with this little gain or volume control to have up near you, so you can change the volume. I've seen people mount it kind of like under here or like on the other side here, but I don't really have a good way to have the cord run cleanly, so I'm gonna have it sitting. There was a panel here, a povo panel. I'm gonna have it sit flush with that once it's back in, build a bracket for it somehow, and that's just gonna sit there. That cable was just run up behind all the main cables here, up here above that little bracket, and then you'll see it come through this hole if you've got it, and you can just grab it and plug it in. So we decided to route the power wire for the amp through the glove box out into the engine bay, and to do that you have to take this off, which was a struggle to say the very least. So you need to pull these out, they're just normal clips, and those two on the top, and then these corners are kind of slotted in. It's like this, kind of like goes over it, so you need to get pry tools in there real nice and good and kind of get this corner out. But I don't know if they're all like that, but mine was a bit brittle up here, so it snapped, but that's alright. And yeah, all I can really say is just be patient, you'll get it. You just gotta just stay persistent. And then there's a little plug for the little glove box light, unplug that. And then this hook, which kind of stops it from going all the way down. It's not in here. You just slots out of there. It's in here. Oh, where am I? In there. So you just need to like kind of push it back and like turn it so it comes through there, and then you cut it out. Day 2. All the wires have been run where they need to go, sort of. The power wire, that one was not fun. We ran it up here with the other ones, and then it goes like all the way up, oops, and then kind of into the glove box behind that bit. This power cord, we had to get it all the way back there, and then came through that little like grommet thing back there a little bit, and then I'm gonna poke a hole through here and then feed it through there so it will sit flush, so this can sit flush against that again. That'll be hooked up to the battery. To get this wire through, we got a bit of wire and a flathead screwdriver and wrapped the wire around the top, and then just pushed the screwdriver through there, and then on this side we got the wire, and then that end of the wire we did this, wrapped it like that, and then we just pulled the wire from here, and then it pulled the cord all the way through. It wasn't exactly easy, but it's the best way I think you can do it. So we got the power wire through this little grommet. Wasn't pretty, wasn't easy. So what you kind of have to do is, we poked a hole from here out to the other side using a pokey tool. Where is it? It's just like a screwdriver, but it's just a little pokey guy. And then kind of just tried to make that hole a little bigger. Got some wire like this, but wrap it around itself to kind of reinforce it, and then just force it through as best you can. and you just got to be patient, I think. And then once that's through, you can attach that to this, pull it through, but just be careful doing that. Try to keep this hole as small as you can, and yeah, just patience. It also helps if you have pliers on this side, kind of like grab it and pull it this way, as well as pulling it by this. All I can say is good luck. Alright, all wires are hooked up. They're not sorted out yet, not wired how I want them to be, but we're just testing it. The power wire, I'm gonna have it sitting under that bolt. Come around to the back. Got the speaker wires hooked up to the sub. We've got the remote wire in the middle where it's supposed to go. Ground, I've ran it over here. And just onto this. I think this should work. Obviously the power wire is hooked up here, and then the positive, negative for the speaker wire for the sub. And then to turn it around, I've got the RCA or those cables in there. I don't know if they're supposed to be an input or output, but we'll see. And then the remote wire for my little volume controller. So let's see if it works. Okay, everything's hooked up. Time to see if it works. Oh, this is on. Let's see. Oh wait, I need to plug in my Bluetooth connector. Where the fuck did it go? Okay. 3, 2. Oh wait. 1.
Turn it up. Turn it up.
Wait, this on shit.
You don't have no snakes or nothing, do you?
Man, I got snakes.
No.
Okay, so no sub. No.
Shit for real, no bap. The young niggas come and get you. You'll just be getting home. I dug a hole down.
Wait, I think I know why.
Okay, since that last clip, it's been about a week, I'm pretty sure. And I kind of just forgot to record everything else that we did, but I'll do a bit of an overview and just explain everything that I didn't record. So, the power wire, which I said I was gonna route properly, I didn't. We're just testing it. And I only remembered that I didn't after I had already clipped back all the panels that, you know, like hold the wires in place now. So all the wires, I kind of just can't really move them around anymore, and I didn't realize that until after I put them in. Like, I didn't realize I wouldn't be able to move them, which I don't know, obviously I couldn't, but oh well. And I can't be bothered taking them back off, or I might have to. I'll get into that later. But for now, I've just put a bit of like heat resistant loom, and it just like splits open, and I just wrap it around the whole power wire all the way up to the terminal, and obviously cut the excess off. But yeah, that's about it for that. Maybe I'll fix that if I ever start seeing an actual issue with it, but probably won't, to be honest. And that brings me to my next topic. I did get the sub working, because in the last clip there was no noise, and I was very sad. So basically, the only thing that was wrong with it was there's little, I'm not going to be able to show you here, but I'll maybe put up a picture or something. There is, on my amp, and it's similar on all of them, there's a gain, a low pass filter or LPF, and a bass boost. So pretty much you just have to turn them up, and you're supposed to like tune it properly, which you should if you can, but I've kind of just turned it up a little bit so I know it won't destroy it. But I mean, I don't know, it's probably not at its full potential, but I'm too scared of breaking something. So until I can get that properly done, I'll just leave it a little bit up. It still sounds really good, but it could be loud. And for the wires, I've just temporarily got them up behind the carpet, and the speaker wire is all just tucked behind the sub, because I don't feel like routing them all properly yet. And then the ground, it just kind of comes like up down here and then down to behind here where that piece of metal was, which also those screws, or one of the screws that I mounted it to, is actually a screw that holds in your taillight, fun fact. But yeah, I haven't got them routed properly yet, but I think it looks nice enough for now. And with nothing in the trunk, it looks pretty good. I mean, the plywood panel that I cut up Could have cut it a bit better, but I don't really care. It's my car. I'll do what I want. So there we have it. The sub and the amp installed in the LS400. Obviously this clip isn't from when it's completed. I just needed a clip to put at the end, and I don't feel like going out and recording one. I knew it would come with some struggles. I didn't know how annoying it would actually be, but that's alright. We persevere. I'm sorry if this video was a bit long. I was trying to fit everything in as good as I could while still providing as much information as I could. So let me know if it was too long or too short, or if it was just right. Thank you very much for watching. It really means a lot if you made it this far, and I hope you stick around for future videos. Bye! Bye!